Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Soundcheck. This is Brent.
It was Walter.
And we're joined by a special guest today. We're doing our first, I guess what we'll call artist profile. We're joined with Clifford Reeves.
Thank you. Hi, how's everybody doing?
And, our podcast isn't the biggest thing. We don't have the most amount of ears, but we just thought, if we could send any sort of
support
potential listeners your way.
I tell you what, if you saw this setup right here, you would not guess it because they have everything possibly set up. It's dope.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I might post a picture on Instagram.
Yes, I gotta get some behind the scenes footage of this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just me, mad dash, coming home from work and just like frantically. That's the image. It's a mishmash of my personal equipment and stuff I'm borrowing from work.
Yes.
To my knowledge, no one from work watches this, so it's chill.
Well, you'll find out then.
Yeah,
I guess.
Find out 100%. I almost was gonna be later than what I was today because on 3 minutes on the road, I realized I didn't have my mic, so I had to make a whole ass U-turn on the highway.
No.
That's rough.
And I was like, God damn it! And then went inside, got the mic, and then I was like, wait. Did I get the mic? And then I saw my other mic. I was like, maybe he might need an extra mic. So I got the extra mic.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you're being prepared.
I was being prepared.
You can't knock you for that.
I packed everything except the mic and the mic stand. I was like, shit.
Why does that always happen? It's always the most critical things.
For some context, so Cliff and I knew each other in college. We had some mutual friends. We met there and then graduated, people go along their different life paths, and then by circumstance we ran into each other again at a on St. Patty's Day at a bar.
Nice.
So reconnected from that, and then
I saw you and my eyes lit up. I tell you, and I was just like, oh my gosh! And then because Sarah, your fiance, and I were great friends in college, and then we, like Brent just said, we just connected for a while. But I think she's the most amazing person. I always have. It's just because she's just such a genuine person, and it was just great to connect with her and then connect with you more because we didn't really get to hang out as much in college.
Yeah, we had a lot of mutual friends, but didn't have as much one-to-one.
Yeah, and it was so I think it's so cool that we're able to mesh.
Yeah,
these two worlds together. It's just awesome.
We started talking about music, and I mentioned doing the podcast, and we're kind of like these sort of music critics, and then you're an active musician.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, let's combine.
Yeah, we have something. And then meeting Walter here for the first time is wonderful.
Aw,
I can't wait to. Hopefully this this is
the last.
This is just the beginning.
I'm kidding.
This is the start of something wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so tell me how when you guys met, what music did y'all connect on?
Let's see. I mean, actually, he teaches me a lot about music that I don't know.
I was going to say, I think for us, it's sort of like the passion of music. I don't know if by genre we have much overlap.
Gotcha.
But absolutely. I think that's perfect way to put it because we definitely vibe over music, and that's what I like, especially because I like all different types of music. I like to learn because it's the hardest thing about music is finding music. Ironically, nowadays, despite the fact there's so much of it,
it's a lot.
It's like an inundation. It's
big word.
Yeah. Inundation.
Yeah, I know it's exciting because anyone can post their stuff out there, but then it's harder to stand out. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, everything just being if your song it hasn't received a certain amount of streams, it's not really gonna be showing up in the algorithm. You might show up every once in a while.
Algorithms. That is the word of the day.
It is the word of the day.
Word of the past.
But even then,
time.
It's harder to find new music because YouTube. At least I find shit through YouTube and TikTok reels. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And
same thing.
It will cater to you, but I don't know. As an active listener, sometimes I'm a bit more picky with my music and what I like and stuff. And eventually, once in a blue moon, I'll check out an artist and I'll be like, I've been fucking sleeping on this for a long time. What? They broke up, and then bam, sad. Yeah. But then glad I found it, but just years later.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Okay, this is actually I'm curious because you bring up an awesome point that I find that when you find new music, a lot of times you're like, they've been out for like a year and you just don't know about it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. It's
100%.
very hard to be like on the pulse with it all, like crazy. And I'm just talking as a fan at this point right now. But
so in one of your interviews, you had mentioned some of your influences were drum and bass, alternative, alt rock, and T-Rex.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna question you. What is T-Rex?
T-Rex I was an artist back, I guess it was 70s, 80s, but he did get it on. What's it? Get it on.
Let's get it on. That one?
No, that's Marvin Gaye. The bang a gong, get it on.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm so horrible with
Okay.
names of songs. I
But
can't
I
believe
know- yeah.
can't believe I'm blanking on it.
Happens.
Children of the Revolution, another song. Anyway, he was an artist back in the 70s, and he did a lot of like rock and blues influence, but it had a more of a at the time a very kind of modern twist on everything. And but his that was mainly with the vocals in that song. See, like I use a lot of his like the kind of low to high register voices and like stuff like that. But yeah, drum and bass, alt rock, all that stuff. I have such a wide like interest in a bunch of genres that for I'm So Bored, that's how that one came out. But it really kind of runs the gambit with me. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, so that leads into one of the questions I was going to ask. With your songs and the music that you put out, you kind of put on different styles. Are you doing that because you're kind of feeling what feels right to you? Like, are you trying to find that right thing, or you don't want to be pinned down? You want to do all these different things.
It's definitely, I just don't want to be pinned down.
Keep your options open.
Yeah. I've always been like, I've my interest in music has been just like everywhere throughout my life. I mean, from classical to like just like heavy metal to like just anything weird that I could find. That's just anything out there. It has all just kind of morphed into me just with the desire to make music that incorporates a lot of different sounds, because they all have the elements within them. They all have their own like sort of like you can pick, like, for example, a guitar, you pick a cello, right? If you look at like, I don't know if you ever have made like EQ'd music and stuff like that. A cello plays at certain frequencies, right? You could replace those frequencies with anything, with any instrument that replaces those same frequencies. And that's kind of where it all started when I started making music. I'm like, like looking at where a guitar lies versus where a piano or like a kalimba or like, where anything could possibly fit there. So like, why not try to incorporate other genres, and that's kind of where it started. And
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
I was gonna be like, so what inspired you to like start singing? Like, what made you realize like your voice was the instrument you wanted to like promote the most?
Yeah. That started actually the first time I sang out of necessity when I was in my first band when I was 13. When I was in middle school, I played drums first, and I played drums and sang in the band.
Oh, nice.
Because nobody else could sing, and I was like, well, I can kind of sing. And then that's how it started. And then once I got away from that band, I just kept going with like learning music on my own, playing guitar, picked up guitar and stuff like that. And I just knew that I wanted to make music as a solo artist, and I knew I wanted to have vocals in there, and I was like, well, I have to do it. So
yeah.
Gotcha.
And then it just built up over time, and I don't know. It was music was my hobby for like ever, for most of my life. And, and then I decided a few years ago to really commit to music. So it was pretty organic the way it all transpired.
Have you done anything with MIDI instruments? Like any instrument you couldn't physically get a hold of?
Oh,
but you
yeah,
still
I
wanted
do
to
that all the
incorporate?
time. Yeah, like anything, any patches. Like I was obsessed with just like any instruments that I've never been able to play myself or could never, get or afford or whatever, just being able to play them on a MIDI is just so sick to me. That whole concept just was like, it's so exciting to me when I first was like producing and just making stuff on the computer.
Do you have like a MIDI keyboard, or do you do everything like via like mouse?
Oh, I do both. I mean,
Okay.
just whatever's faster. If I don't have it hooked up, I'll just start drawing
Gotcha,
in the notes,
gotcha.
and then you see how many people like don't even use MIDIs, and that when I started like researching when I first started, all these people who can just like start drawing in these notes at like certain spots, and it's crazy how music theory has just become like, just through trial and error, and just how music theory, you learn it just through straight up drawing these lines on a keyboard on the computer, and then people get so fast at it.
100%. And like it just starts becoming second nature like the more and more you do it. And like even have like certain like plugins, well, they'll have like a whole like 251 and then like 145 and then like different like progressions, and depending like what genre do you want to do,
Right.
and then like even has like certain like synth sounds already like edited for you to kind of help your like workflow even go faster.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who does like a lot of like drum and bass and like a lot of EDM stuff. He showed me all those plugins. Like, man, you just like took the easy route. And I was like, as a guitarist, I'm like, I had to like struggle to find all these things working, and then you can just fucking do click stuff and clicking a button. And I'm just like, I had to work for this, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That was something that was really, it was exciting when I first started realizing that you could do so much on the computer, and then you can, but because I came from organic instruments myself, and to me, it just helped me. It was great because I ended up learning about my organic instruments at the same time with the help from the electronic.
Yeah.
And it was because I never took music theory. I took some classes in college, like world music classes, some Arabic drumming classes, but I never took any theory. And so, I mean, still today, I like, sometimes I look up theory stuff that I'm like, oh, so that's why that works. Like now it's like, I like, okay, I know this works. Like this chord should go here. I don't know why. And that it's crazy. It's so fascinating.
Something's pleasing to the ear, and then you actually learn the in and outs to it.
But it's fun to just kind of go like, just like do it in an organic way. I'm not saying that's the right way or the best way, but that's just the way that I do it.
There isn't really a right way.
Yeah.
Whatever's right for you.
I mean, it's theory for a reason. It's not called music fact, you know?
Although that does sound
Facts.
catchy. That does sound pretty cool.
That's
I'm sorry, your band sucks. That's a music fact.
Damn, that's like some Mean Girl shit right there. Damn, you're only on this bill because we want you to be on this bill.
That's cool what you said, that the working with MIDI instruments and the electronic side of things lended itself and helped teach you organically. Because I feel like some people, maybe not so much anymore, but there was a time where it seems like people were kind of looking down on electronic stuff because it's like, oh, you can just pick and drop this. You can just kind of
still got to
splice it
create
together.
it. That's the thing. Like, no matter how much editing to go.
It's like a lot of those people probably haven't tried it themselves. You know,
When it's really textured, or you like completely contort a sample and make something, it's different from an organic instrument, but
that's a lot of what I do with Jerome Braley's work that I've worked with him on. He'll have stuff like some tracks, and I create a sample out of it and then just kind of morph it, and it creates these. Sampling, that whole thing has just made amazing textures in music, especially in hip hop, because they've been doing that since vinyls, and
100%.
That whole thing has evolved beautifully.
And especially when you like, for hip hop at least, like when you sample stuff from vinyls, you get like that nice warm crackly like sound.
Yes.
See, I think that's really tight. Like you can like hear the record spinning while like the samples are going.
Yeah.
That like tape grit.
I have, I mean, now I have plugins that add that vinyl sound to it, and that tells you something,
Makes it warm.
Yeah.
everything's like quantified and kind of picked apart. Yeah.
I
For
have
better or worse.
A lot of my music I add on the I'm gonna go real audio person here. I'm gonna go like on the master bus of my music. A lot of time I always add some like mastering effects that make it so that it sounds like it's more like
Analog.
85. You know what I mean?
Gotcha, yeah.
Because it just adds like just that texture, but depends. I mean, sometimes you want that electronic like
Cleanly
sound.
polished. Yeah.
Because what's cool about the electronic stuff, you know, if you have a bunch of sounds, a bunch of like older sounding sounds, like vinyl-esque sounds, they kind of clash and just becomes like there's less clarity, and you just, you know. But the electronic stuff, it's like you can have, what's cool about the electronic stuff, you don't have any of that. You could have like 20 different sounds lined out on different tracks, and they together they create this like amazing sound that's just like
Like have 50 808 bus tracks.
yeah, or you know, like just synths, like, you know, 15 synths stacked on each other. You can make this like beautiful just landscape that you couldn't get with vinyl.
It's like really cool because like you can like even layer like chords on top of each other, but like have each one like in a different like I guess like synth wave pattern. So you can have like one doing like a triangle wave, doing one like a square wave. And
we're getting a real audio nerd here.
But it's like those sound, they could be playing like the same notes over the same like tritones, and like the frequencies are gonna stick out more, and they're gonna like add that texture and like kind of like that desired end product that you like, but like it's still able to be separated and distinctively heard. I guess depending on how well like you decipher music,
right?
Like you're able to pick out those waves and just kind of be like, there are some differences, even though they are playing the same notes.
I know. Yeah, it's with synths are a total like thing of their own, and like just a complex thing in their own. Like a lot of times it is kind of fascinating how though like all these modern synths are trying to sound like the 80s synths, like the Junos and stuff like that.
Stranger Things, bro.
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
I mean, it's so cool. I think what you were saying, kind of what you're saying, Brent, about how you know the music has been just it's like exploded in the sense of the possibilities, and like I think it's so cool how everything's kind of finding a place of its own over time, and it's expanding on top of it. I mean, people are creating new genres and stuff like that all the time just because of all these possibilities. It's infinite.
Yeah, the tools and information's out there. And I always love that. We've covered some bands like that too. We love like bands that take like two disparate genres that like shouldn't mesh together. And it's like beautiful. It's like, oh yeah, let's just do black metal and shoegaze. And it somehow can
Death
be
Haven.
cohesive. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I was like, wait, where have I heard that combo before?
Wait, what is it?
Death Heaven or Death Haven. I don't want to.
Haven. Okay.
Yeah, they are kind of like a droney shoegazy band, but like before then, they were kind of like black metal esque.
Okay.
And like, I remember recently seeing a clip. I forgot for like which tour, might have been for like Coheed that they were opening for.
Oh, maybe.
And they were playing all their black metal stuff, and like the crowd was so disappointed. You can tell like they weren't having it. They were just like deadpan, like,
oh no.
I just don't like this.
See, that's crazy. That's a shame.
But like, I don't know, the fact that they had the balls to do that, I thought that was kind of cool. That made me a fan.
That's part of being an artist.
Yeah.
Just don't compromise. Do what you want to do.
Well, that's what's hard is, sometimes people say, people all want different things, but
100%.
like people say they want you to be the artist and like and expand and like and try to do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like needs to happen. But then the business side is hard because
100%.
then you might not make anything from that at all. So that it's a tough line when you start getting into the business side. It's a totally different type of world, and that's the hard thing. There are so many possibilities musically and creatively right now with music. That's things that have, like there have never been, but the business side is still. But that's why it's crazy right now. Like music business is upside down. It's crazy.
Well, kind of like with content creators and Patreon, is like a lot of people, they kind of can find their niche audience.
Right.
And if they're devoted enough and willing to pay for it, you can kind of just have your
own little
tribe
business
of people.
Right.
And just, yeah.
Like, I guess places like SoundCloud, like kind of really opened up like to people create their own following and then like put the artists like whatever, like let the artists have like their own business decisions, putting stuff out there and reach a bunch of people, and it's gonna like the few people you do reach could really impact like your art, and then of course the people are gonna want more the more you produce. Like there's no one telling you like how to do your shit like when you're doing stuff independently.
Yeah, SoundCloud is I love the best, like one of the best feelings, or what I love SoundCloud for, and it's like one of the best feelings is when you just make something and you can just throw it up there. And there, you don't have to go through any of the waiting processes that you have to go through with other streaming services, and you don't have to do as much. It's way more just a playground.
Yeah.
And it's not as great as sound quality. It's not as high fidelity of audio quality unless you pay. I think it'll be HD, but better quality. But it's still like, from that music lover standpoint, SoundCloud is like amazing.
And just as like a fan or audience member, like it's so cool. Like I don't know the exact moment when it happened, but it was noticeable in life when suddenly just like your cousin, this person at the gas station, everyone's just like, check out my SoundCloud, check out what I'm putting out. Yeah. Everyone's just putting out stuff.
Yeah.
It's more pervasive.
Yeah. But that is like, you can go on SoundCloud, and what's so cool about that is you can find people that are just like amazing. 100%. Like these unknown people, they got like they have 4 plays and they on the song, but this song is like, wow. And that's where the music industry is like, there's got to be a way for these people to be like found that's easier. You know, the hardest part is the algorithms.
100.
Fighting algorithms. It's very difficult. I don't know the answer. I'm not saying that I know the answer to any of this, but I just know that there's a lot of really talented people out there. Like, you can just peruse through SoundCloud, or you can go on like Twitch and find like music feedback things, like people doing music feedback, and people like just send in their SoundCloud link and stuff like that. And if you tune into any of those streams on Twitch, these artists are like crazy good. Some of them are like in high school.
Yeah.
And they're just like amazing.
And people are doing savvy stuff to advertise themselves.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I say that, but I couldn't even think of a specific example. But I just know I've seen like on TikTok, Instagram, or just like Twitch. Like
there's so much.
They're a musician, but they're also just like playing video games. There's like this cross pollination. Like people are doing all these different things,
like
and
T-Pain.
they're still marketing their music.
T-Pain,
yeah.
Like T-Pain,
Yeah,
he plays video games, but he also streams his like music every once in a while.
Yeah.
I love T-Pain. He's funny as shit.
Yeah, I've tuned into some of his streams.
Andy does that segment
funny.
where he listens to submitted stuff from SoundCloud or whatever,
Oh,
and he'll
cool.
give him a listen. He'll kind of like it, and then his audience is essentially listening to it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great way to connect. I've had people like hit me up for, like wanting to get me on a track through that stuff. Like it's a great way to network, and so that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Times like these are only sweet and sound when you're falling asleep.
I did have a question, unless you had something.
I got one, but I'll go right after you.
Oh, I got the quintessential artist question, which is, what's your artistic process stemming from idea to finished song?
Well, it changes every song, but
Ooh,
I like recently. So actually, that I'm So Bored interview, like when I was doing I'm So Bored, that was during a time when I was making a lot, just kind of like one song. I would focus on one song at a time. Now it's kind of changed and evolved to where I'm working like 6 to 8 at a time. And I just kind of, what's nice about that is that it's just being more prolific, but also I like it from a creative standpoint, you can like switch your mind up a lot. So you can go into, and because I like to genre bend as best as I can, I'll go into a different song and it's a totally different sound. So it like ear fatigue goes out the door when you start doing that. And, but from start to finish, it all depends on, it could be a guitar thing. Like a lot of times if I'm writing like a pop song, like a poppy-esque song, and I just want something that's just like what I call just ear candy, like that it just is really addictive. I'll usually start with the acoustic guitar just to find like a melody, and I'll just go from there. Like I did that with 3 a.m. The bass line was the first thing that just came to me. That bass line for 3 a.m. was just like immediately I sat down and that's what came out. And then, or it could be a synth. It could be just something a melody I thought of the day before. But what I really love is just like the whole process, the intensity of the process, getting from the beginning to the end, because it's different every time, and it's I can totally just change up however I want to do things based on the day as a solo artist. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
I like that. I think it's cool because I mean, some musicians, they do kind of have a method. They're like, I sit down, this hour of the day is just like writing blah 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 or whatever. But I do think that's cool, especially with you having a variety of genres. It would make sense you would have a different process for each one.
Yeah. I and lyrics sometimes a lot of times lyrics I do last. I kind of like to have the music first. I know some people, I feel like some artists, they like to have
the lyrics for the song. They would have gotcha.
But I feel like because I do maybe it's because I do self-produce, I like to have the vibe first just so I can get the feel. And I also like it because I don't know what I'm going to end up singing or doing vocally on a song until the end. So I can explore that and try to challenge myself in that way.
Gotcha. So this would be like I guess a music question. Like, what genres of music do you listen outside of what you make?
It goes from, let's see,
Like,
listen to a lot of hip hop and rap. A lot of Motown.
Motown.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Love Motown. Like anything. Sister Sledge to
Old soul.
I don't know. Marvin Gaye
Groovy.
to like I don't know. I really should just bring up my Spotify because
I mean, you can do your phone if
it's
you
not
want.
gonna be the best thing for camera.
Yeah.
But
I do it looking at my notes.
I do it too. I'll be like, what?
We often I have to cut out extended Google search sessions where we're like, what's that guy's name?
Oh yeah.
We need to have
the beauty of editing.
Yeah.
We need to have a guy in the background. I was like, can you look that up real quick?
Yeah. Fact checks.
Yes. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly a lot of hip hop and rap and a lot of Motown, like EDM. I make some EDM music every now and then, but I do like to listen to a lot of EDM. I think that's
EDM's cool. I like drum and bass stuff too.
Yeah, I just love. I started with drums, so rhythm is like everything.
For me, like I am so far out of EDM, like that culture.
Yeah,
it's. I have a friend Connor who, I guess we talked about it last time. Like, she was showing me all of like the subgenres of EDM. I was like, what?
Oh my god! Don't go down that rabbit hole is so deep.
I was like, what do you mean? Like,
it's so deep.
I was mentioning to him like Aphex Twin and Autechre and just like noise music and it's a deep well.
Like I was like, what the fuck do you mean trip hop?
Yeah,
Like,
trip hop.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean by that? Mm-hmm. What is the meaning of this?
There's one I learned. What was it? Is it? I want to say it's like dark tech or something like that.
That sounds cool.
There's so many. But yeah, I just anything that has a heavy kick and
the 808 has to be bumping,
and the 808 has to hit. Oh my god!
If it doesn't hit, you'll know. Right? You'll know.
I know.
Very quick.
You just feel it.
Yeah,
It's
literally
just so good. Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, that makes me think of like a sort of question. I feel like this is something artists and critics kind of bump heads on, but how do you feel about categorization of music? Like all these different subgenres and stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, are you annoyed by it? Are you like, ew, gross, stop trying to quantify?
I can't follow it personally.
Okay, yeah.
But I know like this, because there's so many. I mean, there's so many. But I think if you want to categorize it, cool, but I know I don't like to be categorized, so I don't really worry about it as much because as an artist, you're just making whatever you want to make. You just make it, and then whatever it is. Like with I'm So Bored, like I didn't know it was post punk until somebody told me after, and I was like, there's a blog, shout out Other Side Reviews, Nicole Mendez down in South Africa. She was like, oh, it's post punk, and I like just like first thing, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Add that to your resume.
And I looked it up and I was like, wow,
to your resume.
This is post-punk.
Because
I didn't know what it was, especially with I'm So Bored, because I was just like, I just knew drum and bass, and I just wanted I just wanted it to be bassy and just be Yeah, right in the chest the whole time, and just kind of out there, kind of punky style.
So when you made that song, did you EQ'd it accordingly towards like that style of music, or is it kind of like more like snare forward, or like a little bit more raw?
The snare. Yeah, I with every genre I do my research.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think it's the certain genre and it's not, and it ends up being another one. But whatever genre, I do research on certain genres and how they mix, how they EQ, stuff like that. With that one, yeah, I mean, I was definitely doing like, actually, I had been like learning, just going crazy with 808s for like a year or two, just trying to learn. And because I love 808s. And I was just trying to learn how to make it myself without them sounding like a fart, you know, because sometimes
just add it in, man.
When you first start, I mean, it's kind of what they sound like. But, you know, that's where I'm So Bored came from. And
Gotcha.
I was just learning so much from, and then it morphed into kind of more of a drum and bass kind of sound.
Is there any sort of genre you're interested in giving a try at some point, or you just kind of play it by ear and just see where it takes you?
I play it by ear. That's
fair.
That's because I find it the most organic that way. It's less, because there was a time in the beginning too when I was like, well, you gotta find another genre, and then that's what I'm like. Let's just. I was like, why would I do that?
You like have this internal battle.
Yeah, I have an internal battle about how I'm gonna do my next song, and I'm like, why don't you just make the next song and then see whatever comes out.
Yeah, boxing yourself in by like always doing something new.
Yeah, and yeah. So I just kind of leave it. I leave it open. I just leave it as open as I can, and that's the most. I have more fun doing that, and it's more enjoyable, and I find it's more unique. You know,
That's awesome. Yeah, keep it fluid.
Yeah, 100.
When we're together, it's like an aura around us that can't be severed. It's cliche, but whatever. Passion, dedication through every endeavor. It's like doing everything for the first time. I've been waiting for this for my whole life. The world's never seen us before. Even my dreams can't imagine what we have in store. I'ma stay up till 3 in the morning thinking about you. And even when I awaken, my dreams of you will never conclude.
As far as like hip hop, what you've been listening to lately?
I can't get. I know it's like older. See, real quick with you two, do you find that with like when people say old, what do you think is an old song?
Anything?
Any genre?
Any
Genre, like
I guess like regarding music, like I'd say, I don't know, anything past 2000s, like and younger.
So
like,
2000, like the year 2000.
Yeah, that's
okay.
old music.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
See, like, because I was gonna say Money Trees. I've just been listening to.
Oh, yeah.
Kendrick. Like, I
Nice.
just can't. I can't stop listening to that. Like, I just can't. And because I listened to Damn when it came out. And
God,
then,
I love Damn.
I know. And then I mean that song, DNA. That song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Vicious.
The switch up at the second half of the song. Oh my gosh. When I heard that, I was just like, stank face like crazy.
Oh,
I just
I know.
couldn't. I loved it.
When it dropped, I was just like moshing alone in the room every time it was on. Yeah.
Yes. Give me some gotcha. Give me some gotcha.
That was, oh man, like when I heard that's actually when Damn first came out, it actually took a little time for me to like warm up to it before I was like,
Oh yeah, because it was out there.
I don't know.
He was like he does such his own thing.
Yeah, but like for me, it's like became a fan, not a Good Kid, Mad City at To Pimp a Butterfly because of like that whole like jazz orchestra thing he had going on behind.
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
And to me, that was like a huge like selling point for me. I was like, that is what I like within like a hip hop context. It's like this like real live instruments, like like I don't know. I feel the actual kick from like the bass drum, like really cool hip hop melodies, like being played on instruments, and then just like of course like the whole like To Pimp a Butterfly, the whole story as he's slowly revealing the poem like to the end where he's like talking to Pac, And like to me, I thought that was really fucking cool. Like there's like a bunch of like artistic layers behind it. It was like you got the jazz orchestra, you got this poem slowly revealing itself, and you got to like listen from song to song towards the end and toward like until you hear the whole poem.
Wow, I gotta delve into that. What is it?
Pimp a Butterfly.
I was gonna say, relating to artists and not even being aware of the genres and pigeonholing them and stuff. It's like he put To Pimp a Butterfly together, and then I think you told me in some interview someone mentioned to him like, "Hey, this is a jazz album." He's like, "Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess
And
I
he
like
listened to
jazz."
jazz. Yeah.
About that. I think I saw a video about that or
He's
something.
like, I didn't know I like jazz. And then like someone introduced him to jazz, and he was like, "You're right, I like jazz."
So cool. See, that's exactly how I view music, like approach music, I should say, because it's so much more organic, and you create something that is so much more unique. But you have to be willing to go there.
Oh, 100%.
It's very easy in music to just in art in general, it's just to kind of start to like to go to a certain place and stay there, which is not saying that's a bad thing. But it's
you're
like,
not gonna grow.
You're not gonna grow. Yeah, you're not gonna grow. There's a timeline with art, and like I'm talking like society too. Like there's a timeline with growth with art, and I feel like to me, it's like for me, it's like a duty as an artist to try to stay on that timeline because that's a beautiful thing, and it's every moment is fleeting but very important in the path and journey of music in general. And I think the only way you can really create new beautiful things is if you follow that path.
Yeah, like you have to have some friction, or else it kind of stagnates. Wow.
And also being able to keep up with like what are the younger kids doing, like what are they listening to, like what are you listening to, like who are they being influenced by, what are you being influenced by?
Right.
It's like you got to learn how to like give and take, like learn from the like newer generation of like who's like putting out like so and so like music. I don't know, like one thing that was really surprising to me was like Lil Uzi Vert, like he loves the Faceless. Like,
whoa, I didn't know
I haven't
that.
listened to his new album.
Huh?
I haven't listened to his new album.
I haven't either. I saw it had some
either.
cool features on it. I should check it out. Yeah.
But like, I remember like seeing a post where like Lil Uzi Vert was like at a Faceless show, and like had a photo with like Michael Keaton. I don't know. Do you listen to metal?
Not like I'm not like in the metal game,
Gotcha.
I like will listen to it.
And so like this band called The Faceless, one of my favorite like all time bands, really revolutionized like kind of like tech death and like kind of created their own sound, and like definitely stuck out within the metal community for good and bad and reasons. But when I find out like a certain artist that I had no interest whatsoever in the beginning posts a photo that he likes metal, and then like Marilyn Manson, I kind of like gain a little bit more like respect nor notoriety. Like you're definitely open to some shit.
Well, and that's where I feel like, I mean, genre bending is like the future. I mean, everything we're talking about, these big artists, these big, huge names, and they're talking openly about how they like all these different genres that are totally outside of theirs.
Yeah,
No one's referred to as just one thing anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just the way music is going now. I don't know.
And like you were talking earlier, I do feel like artists, I mean, some people are just kind of inherently kind of gonzo creative. They can always just kind of come up with something off the cuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like generally you usually have to kind of keep pushing yourself to find inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, if you're coming up with a concept album, it's like, I want to come up with a story of this. And it's like something you've never done before.
Yeah. That's what's fascinating to me. I don't even know if I would be able to do that. Like, just because I don't know if I like to be able to jump around to different things and different, different sounds. So to make something start to finish, I think it's so cool. It's pretty, to me,
hard
it's
to do,
admirable.
man. It's hard.
Like to be able to do that. I mean, maybe one day, but
Inspiration's
that's hard.
Inspiration is almost like an unspoken skill. People don't refer to it as a skill. If it doesn't come natural to you, then you have to find a way
to make it happen,
to create it yourself.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because I feel like that's exactly what I've been learning within the past like year about it. Just if you're not inspired, get inspired. Just like put yourself in a weird situation. I also try to I find myself a lot of times just sitting down in front and like when I'm like working on a song, and I'm just like, okay, you could wait around for like of 5 hours until you find something that sounds like okay, or you could just like start making something that you like. Just go for it. It's right there. And so if you view it like where it's always there, you just have to be able to find it, or like you have to just be willing to just go out there and grab it and take it and not think about it. It's always there. But it is a skill that's very hard to do. I mean, I don't know if any artist ever really, you can completely become an expert at doing that.
Oh yeah, it's always an ongoing battle.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, like, you know, for so long before the podcast and some of my personal videos, I didn't really put out very much because like theoretically I wanted to create this perfect thing, and then once it was perfect,
I know,
then create it. And then I realized it's the other way around. You have to just throw yourself out there, whether it's good or not. You just have to make something, and then once you kind of create this problem for yourself, you get this excitement of like,
problem.
I
love
it's
that.
like, oh, I want this to be good. I want this to happen. How do I make it? And that's like where you kind of learn it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's kind of like what I do. Like I'll just be like, I don't know why I'm feeling this right now, but I'm just gonna throw it on there and don't think about it. And you know how they always say like the best songs happen very quickly.
They do.
Like that is, you're always and it's a beautiful thing. It doesn't happen all the time. I mean, like what we're just talking about. You can't just like make this great song and it happens every single time. It doesn't happen that way. It's a skill, and it takes time, and you have to. And I don't know. It's kind of magical. So you're chasing it, but you can also learn to try to get there a little faster sometimes and make it happen. Make your odds better.
Heard. Do you ever like go back into their old songs after like after they're done, by the way, and like after like I guess maybe like months of like kind of growing, and then like you want to revisit a song because you know you can make it better, or do you like kind of just leave it, like let it stay?
I've
where it's
thought
at?
about it. Like, okay, the only time I would do that is with songs that I had in the past, but I hadn't like gone through like officially releasing them. So I could see myself re-releasing stuff like that nobody's really heard. I can see that, but once something's done, I basically at this point I just trust myself that it sounded good when you were making it, so just trust yourself, Cliff. It's okay. Just trust yourself with it. But then you go back and you listen to it, and then you kind of, when you come at it with that, it's like, actually, yeah, you start to love your music a lot more. Not that you ever not like it. It's just you start to not think about it. Don't think about why you made that choice.
Yeah, as long as like you did your best in the moment,
right?
You know, that's the best you could do. And then, you know, like I kind of look at past work as just like stepping stones. It's like, sure, I could go back, but instead of dealing with the past, it's like just kind of keep making new stuff. You'll just learn more that way, hands on.
Definitely
on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's always a difficult thing to constantly grow, but and you're always trying to learn new ways to keep yourself growing. But it really is just a skill that you have to just, and it changes.
It's like you gotta trust your intuition type of shit.
Yeah, and your mind changes throughout your life.
Yeah,
just like life experiences can make it so that you can approach art differently just because of certain experiences, and you never know. But just always try. So any artist like doing any kind of art, it's like you should always just try.
I don't know. It's like you gotta have a lot of balls to like put yourself out there to begin with. Like especially since you're like solo producing and everything. Like you really gotta like trust your inner gut. Be like, do I like? First, you gotta vibe for it. You gotta vibe to your own song.
It's like multiple personalities. Sometimes I feel, because I'm like, okay, no, Cliff, you're the producer right now. Don't be the artist. You're the producer. And then when I'm trying to lay stuff, and what I'm learning is like to be able to do it really fast within like seconds, because it would take me like hours to be able to switch that mindset. And then by the end, you're really just kind of tweaking something to the point as a producer that you're like, why are you still mixing it? It's not even done yet. And then you just start going down this rabbit hole.
You better not be doing unnoticeable changes to the mix.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like in the back doing unnoticeable changes.
I've had songs where in the beginning, I forced myself to not do that anymore. I mean, I don't like, knock on wood, but like, you know, I would just like destroy a song, and I'm like, why does this sound like crap now? And what did you do? And get so mad at myself. Because I'm like, it sounded so good. Why'd you just mess it up?
It's like you do like the before and after before you tweaked it, and then after you tweaked it, you're like, I better just
save copies.
Yeah.
Save copies, everyone.
Yes. Because you want to have like a reference point, like which one actually sounds better to you, and then what do you want to? I do that all the time too. Like
also when people like stuff that sounds more raw, usually. So if you do a mix that's really raw sounding, but it hits, people will be like, oh, I like that one. And then sometimes, I mean, if you want to we even go into the loudness wars. You can just make something loud. Be like, well, just don't worry about it. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you just like turn the fader all the way up, but like
turn it up.
But like,
just clip everything.
Just clip everything, which is a way of doing things. I mean, like XXXTentacion, like got that. His songs just limiters. I mean, I saw the producer for.
Wait, was he clipping everything, or
no,
was everything
he put like 3 limiters on like the master.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for what's the song? I'm in the mess.
Look at yourself.
No.
Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm
look
not
at me.
familiar with any of his stuff, to be honest. I just know the name.
Yeah, that song that for Look at Me, he apparently like he just put like 3 limiters on there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's like
I don't know.
That's
why
a
would
lot.
you need 3? But
You need it. It's an
Yeah.
artistic choice.
yeah, I guess so. But that was a banger of a song. People loved it. So, you know.
Who are you to tell me what I should do when you don't even know what to do for yourself? Look at me for me, and look at you for you. Don't ever get that too confused. Oh no.
So, what are your hobbies right now? Like,
Hobbies, pretty much always just video games, cooking.
cooking. All right.
Yeah, I love to cook.
All right, cool. So, like, what do you like cooking? I guess I watch a lot of like YouTube cooking.
Same.
Like, all right,
You do?
cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, cool.
Wait, okay,
Binging
let
with
me throw.
Babish.
We throw. Okay, gotcha.
Joshua Weissman.
Okay, gotcha. You ever watch Laura Vitale?
No. Okay.
Laura Vitale. I love her. All of your. I love all your stuff. You're so amazing.
Hell yeah. I love watching the test kitchen stuff, like where they like recreate like well-known snacks.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Those are my fucking favorite.
Those are cool.
God. And then
Those are
like
cool.
I think one of my favorite ones when they recreated Twix. Like the woman the woman, she just like took one bite and then like had to like calculate how she's gonna approach the biscuit part of things, how she's gonna approach the caramel part of things, and
You're
the
talking
chocolate.
about was it Bon Appetit? Or,
Yeah. I love Bon Appetit, man.
Yeah, I watched her. I think she made Doritos. I watched that Dorito one. Yeah, Claire Saffis.
Does she have like the white stripe?
Yep. That's her.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Doritos history is actually kind of cool because like they had all this leftover tortilla chips and like they were like, what do we do? And then in the factory they were like, let's just sprinkle some fucking powdered cheese on them and see what happens.
Just good old fashioned garlic powder, onion powder, and cheddar cheese powder.
God, what a revolution, man! Like the Doritos sweet and spicy, personal favorite.
Oh, the purple bag?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the purple bag. When I first discovered those, I was like, I'm never going to have another chip again. So
God.
It's just horribly addictive.
100% like that. And I really like the, of course I love the original flavor. I loathe Cool Ranch Doritos.
Really?
I hate them.
They're not my favorite.
They're
but
not.
I don't
I like nacho cheese.
It's
kind of mid to me, but
mid.
nacho cheese classic. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
Never
know.
ventured and tried the other things.
Do you got
you
it?
gotta try the purple bag.
Yeah, purple
Next time you see
bags.
the purple bag, just go grab it.
Like I don't know,
Because
something
Walter
about
and
the,
Cliff told you to.
something about the Cool Ranch is just like too zingy for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's almost like sour.
Yeah, a little too soury. And I think that turned me off of ranch for a bit. Like ranch is already kind of gross, especially if you. Well, it's not gross. I mean, I dip it in some things, or have.
I learned how to make my own kebab sauce. You know, kebab white sauce. Like, you go to a kebab place and like it's that Lebanese white sauce.
Yes.
I learned how to make that.
Is it made with like Greek yogurt or something?
Yeah, it's like really thin.
Yes.
I made that. I made some like kebabs on the grill like a few months ago, and I made that white sauce. And I'm like, this is basically ranch, but it's better because it's got sour cream. It's sour cream, lemon juice, and yogurt,
And
then
it's like
just a bunch
fattier too, probably.
It's just deeper, just more depth of flavor. We're just talking about this is just turning into a food podcast.
Yeah,
now.
it's gonna turn into food. I mean, it's
Actually,
all right, let's go.
when so one of the main things we do is concert reviews. We go to a concert, we
forgot.
get in our car with the Tascam, we just record our thoughts on the show.
that's
But
cool.
early on, we also talked about like the food joints
Yeah,
we
that we
ate
would
at
go.
like beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
And we kind of
Yeah.
reviewed. We did like the whole night thing, like
Yeah.
where we ate, how the city was. We haven't done it as much in a while because we go to the same
Same place.
venues. But
Yeah.
like if we ever go to a new place, like in Philly or something,
Yeah,
then
that's
it's like,
cool.
ooh, where we ate, how the place
Food
was.
stuff, I don't know what it is about. I can watch people eat food. I can watch them
mukbang.
do what, mukbang. How do you pronounce
Mukbang.
it? Mukbang. I could like watch those like all the time. I don't know. And like I have to eat something though while I'm watching
I
it.
do the same thing too. Like I'd be
Is
like,
it
man, I
weird?
wish I was having it.
Is it weird or is it normal? Somebody tell us.
I think it's normal for me, man.
It feels normal.
Like
but
I'll eat. I'll like get home from work, rush downstairs, get into my lazy clothes.
Yeah.
and then like get.
but
like,
you have to find something to watch first.
Yes, that's very cute.
And I will not eat my food until I've watched. I have to find something to watch.
if like my Xbox doesn't turn on and it's like really slow, I'd be very mad because I'm like, I'm looking at my food. It like I can't really eat it without watching something.
I crave
such a
wings.
weird-
I crave wings when watching Hot Ones,
Yes.
Oh yes.
or that chicken date shop one.
Which one was it?
Oh, Chicken Shop. Yeah, Chicken Shop.
forget the host's name,
Amelia.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, both of those. I'm like, man, I want some wings.
God, you remember we used to do like the spicy things? Like
We actually did a thing once where we lined up wings and hot sauces, and they
Oh,
got
nice.
incrementally hotter. And we had some from the show, and then just some others that Walter had. It was wild.
Did you
It
have
was
the-
fun.
Did you have the bomb?
You did. No. You had the
it wasn't-
last stab.
Yeah, we had
The
the
last
last
time,
stab,
okay.
and then we didn't have the bomb, but you had this thing from like Jamaica that was like, it was brutal.
Oh, really?
It was so rough. Yeah,
man.
it looked like tar. It was
Oh, yeah, Scotch bonnet pepper.
It was
hot
so
sauce.
intense.
Oh yeah, Scotch bonnets.
Yeah, shit was so good.
We're about to start. We actually ordered those for over the summer to grow, like
They're
at
good, man.
our
It
house.
was like super, like make some real jerk chicken too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's so good. Like it's a little fruity, a little spicy, a little earthy.
Was it green? Was this hot sauce? Was it green?
It was kind of like orangey esque.
Okay.
Like orangey with the you can see like the pits and you can like see like strains of the skin in it. It's
Okay.
like very chunky.
We had a family friend who went to his house and he was having a big party and he's Trinidadian and they had this like homemade hot sauce that was green and it was like the most it was so spicy, it was so hot, but it was so good. I wasn't sure if it might have been the same thing,
I have no idea.
same region or something, but
I don't know. It's tasty though.
yeah.
Like I love like I don't know Caribbean style foods. It's like a great mixture of like sweet, spicy, and like really feels like you're eating like a whole like trifecta of like flavors.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And mixed with seafood. I mean, like any type of seafood with it is like the best.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, before we go, I kind of wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because since you're a vocalist, what are like your favorite accents like to like mimic or like do?
Well, I'm half English. I'm a dual citizen, US UK, so I can do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
and,
sick.
I studied French and Arabic, but accents. So where you speak like English accents, like for English speaking,
Or like, well, not even English
love
speaking, like
Australian accents.
Australian accents.
I think they're really. I think those are so cool and attractive. I don't know what it is.
I agree.
They're beautiful.
Yeah. It's a little rough around the edges, but I kind of like it.
I just like how like
Nar.
they do that like
Nar.
interesting kind of. It's like the Irish, like they say like instead of now they say nar.
No, yeah.
It's like get downstairs nar. It's so cool. I love it. But yeah, I'd probably say English speaking and be Australian, and then I don't know.
Do you do anything like arbitrary with your voice? Like I do like this like robot voice, like
Hello, the number you've dialed. Hello, the number you've dialed. Hello.
That was instantaneous. That was like seamlessly
Yeah.
switched. How did you do? Oh my gosh! Have you always been able to do that?
honestly, Damien, he did it he did it one day. I was like, I wanted to hold a conversation like that, and then I was like,
Listen here. Come here. Pull up, bitch. Hello.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like what was the Black Ops Cold War Zombies map? What was it?
Oh, no.
Orlov? Was it Orlov?
Yo, I've never actually played zombies.
D Machine, that map, the Easter egg for it. We're getting nerdy again.
Yeah, we are.
But no, yeah, that's crazy. How do you? Was it like a? It sounds like a.
It's
You,
like
like,
a throat
inhale
thing.
while
Yeah,
you
it's
talk?
definitely like,
An inhale.
but it's like
But you go deep, like you go
yeah.
guttural with it instead of.
So it's like you're inhaling, but like you kind of like inhaling through your nose. Like you ever like study like weird voices like that and try to figure out how you can replicate it?
I feel like I have, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Like I don't know, like kind of like it's kind of like studying an accent. Like how do they
Yeah.
pronunciate their words? And I kind of like took that perspective of like stupid sounds,
Yeah,
like
and
being able to do like a robot voice, and then eventually it's kind of like
the guttural. I
Yeah.
can't. How are you doing that?
Maybe it would lead somewhere, trying out new techniques
Yeah.
and vocal phrasing. I don't know.
That's unreal. Is that in like screamo and stuff like that? Is that how they do it? They go
like,
down there?
they use like their stomach a lot.
They
Diaphragm?
usually, they often do guttural because if you do your vocal cords, it just
just
shreds
destroys it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. I don't. That's
It's a
really
lot of breath
crazy how you
control.
were able
It
to
is
just
a
like
lot.
seamlessly just switch into that. That's so dope. I can't do anything like that. I don't think.
I'm sure if you like study it enough, or like practice it, like I know this is a vocalist, like the band is called Lorna Shore, but like the vocalist Will Ramos, like they actually did like a little thing. They put a little camera down his throat and kind of like see how his vocal cords change because he like studied like Hungarian singing and shit
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I've seen
Throat
them.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people like stuff on YouTube about that.
Mm-hmm.
They literally stick a camera on your throat and like they can see how it's moving and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
So like I was
Homework.
wondering, yes, I was kind of like wondering when like with you being a vocalist, if you like ever think of like vocals to that perspective, like how are you like controlling your like breath from your nose versus your mouth, and then like controlling your throat, and like where are you
There's a
deriving
lot
the
of
power
technique
from?
to it.
Yeah, my well, I'm very lucky because I grew up. My sister she sang operatic like vocal style vocals. She sang in like and like madrigals and stuff like that. So she's like been my like vocal coach as I've like gotten older, and so she taught me about just diaphragm singing and just purely singing from your stomach. And I'm sorry, I forget what exactly your question was.
It's like, what do you think about when you are like when you're singing or when you're practicing, like your breath control? Where is your breath coming from?
Oh, yeah.
How are you inhaling?
Depends on the song. If I want it to be breathy, like I have a song Mariana that's very breathy, and it's because I'm like, it's like don't need the superficial, don't leads to a love the fizzles, and so it's like very under the breath, kind of the whole time. So if you or like quick slow, it's kind of the same thing. But it's like it depends on the song, and sometimes I have to relearn because I try to actively sing different ways. I have to go back and like I have to really focus on like, wow, you really had to sing this way, didn't you? Like had to teach yourself to do it. But that's so much fun because it's a cool challenge to do. But
Another tool in your arsenal.
Exactly.
yeah.
So when you were learning how to like sing breathy, did you realize you had to like pull your tongue back a little bit?
I'm not sure if I focus on that part of it. I might do that naturally. I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because like I don't know, I just like wanted to know like what goes on in your mind when you're like trying to do certain techniques. Like how are you adjusting everything
I see.
to get like the sound you want?
Yeah.
And then how are you like micro adjusting it to like really like?
A lot of times it's really just trial and error, and then a lot of times, like I said, the best way is to have somebody. I'm very lucky in that I have somebody who I can actively ask for help, because she's very good at just like listening to a sound and being like, oh, they're doing this,
Yes.
and then like they're singing from their nose, like. Like recently, she was talking about how Wonderwall is sung
I hate
like
that song.
if you sing it through your nose, and that whole like 'cause after all, it sounds like guttural, But like after all, you can sing like that, and it doesn't sound. It's easier to sing because the first way it can kind of like rattle your throat. At least it does mine. And so like these little techniques that don't sound like the twos are like they're different at all. They're actually very different in how you approach it. But that it is very hard sometimes to figure out the right way to approach it. And sometimes it's just like straight up you just can't get it. You need some outsider help on that. So that really depends. A lot of times I just try to figure it out on my own and try to sing a way that I can sing well. It's like a duh, but it's like, you know, don't try to, you know, force anything that you can't do.
For sure.
But you just trial and error and then ask for help as best as you can. Look up stuff on YouTube too. It always helps.
Right on.
YouTube University.
YouTube Uni.
Yeah.
YouTube Uni.
YouTube Uni. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's we can end on that note.
Yeah, that was awesome. This was super fun. Thank you for coming over.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
It was great.
And I guess I just had two unrelated to this interview, two quick things.
Oh, true.
I just wanted to like update just generally. Our last episode was that mid-year discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Since then, I started re-listening to Cattle Decapitation, got
Yes.
obsessed with them again. I now love Terracite. Now that
Yes.
might be one of my favorite albums end of the year.
It's fucking sick.
And then someone commented on TikTok and reminded us about Death Clock. Is
Oh,
making
yes,
an
they're
album
coming
again,
soon.
and they released a new album. So yeah, check
Yes.
that out. We'll definitely keep that on our radar. That comes out end of August. So yeah, that'll be
oh,
on
that's
our
very
radar.
soon.
Yeah,
super
for sure.
soon. Oh my god.
So yeah,
All right.
thanks for joining us. This was another episode. This is Brent signing off.
This is Walter signing off.
And this is Clifford signing off.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.